Mm.
So he will now say what is bhakti from 12th chapter. So if we go on the last verse, he says mat karma krit mat parama mat bhaktaha sanga vivarjitaha nirvairihi sarva bhuteshu yaha saha mam iti pandava.
You want to start when Padma Shri is there?
Yeah, that is better is what I feel. That's my view. I don't know. Whatever you say, I am okay.
Then we can spend some time on meditation today, and then then you can share your experience if any.
No, first let's discuss, and then maybe at 9 o'clock, let's break for meditation until 9:25, and then discuss and complete.
Yeah.
So now the question comes, what do you want to discuss? And that is where I and Lata are stuck before you joined.
What to discuss? So waiting for you to bring topics.
One topic what I can think of is the prayer. See, we do prayers. Almost all human beings, if they believe in God, there is a prayer. Okay.
Correct.
And now the God is for Bhakti Yoga. That is what it is defined. Then the prayer question here: is it really prayers are effective? And if we are doing prayers, what is the right way of doing prayer? And some people, they keep asking, give me this, give me that. What I heard, you should not ask like that. You have to ask only, give me good intellect. Rest karma based things will happen. Whether that is the only way to pray, or we can also pray good health for somebody, and my prayers reached God and that person gets good health. Is there any such thing happening? Or it is just we do prayer thinking that it should happen, we don't know whether it will happen or not. How to verify the prayer is really working? Around that, maybe you can talk something.
Very good question. So let's again come back to G.V. Jagadishwara. So the first point of contention is that what is GV? So in a normal person, it is only GV and Jagat that doesn't know that there is something called consciousness which is doing everything, whatever mind wants it. Okay, so let's take a normal worldling or normal person, no spiritual or anything like that. Or even before that, a real normal person who just believes that whatever work he has to do, he will do in whichever way possible and make sure that he earns sufficient, he has sufficient, or she has sufficient. And then his way or the highway. Okay, this is the first kind of person. Now, since he doesn't know Ishvara, he only knows Jagat, he doesn't know Jivi also. He only is conditioned by the five sense objects. So he reacts to those five sense objects. So something works, he thinks he's working, and something is not working, then he feels that due to that person it is not working. Due to the object, it is not working. So this is the first kind of worldling where there is nothing called as prayer. Or there's nothing called divine. That's a better way to put it. Okay. Then there is a second kind of person. A second kind of person is more interested in understanding that there is something which is doing and something is not doing. So there should be something in this which is making things happen and making things not happen. So he is concerned that why it is not happening. Okay. So then he starts believing in a thing called as God. Because then he knows that there is something called consciousness which is doing things for him. So he calls that as a divine power. And then he starts using words like God forbidding, or God intention, or uh, Devar Daya, or God's mercy, and all that. Right? So now he feels that he's in the mercy of God for things which happen and the things that doesn't happen. And he wants certain things happen because he is having the karma in basic sense of desires, wherein it is towards the five sense objects. So he or she would like to possess as much as possible on the five sense objects. So that is where this person is. So he has to believe in two things. One, he has to believe in rites and rituals. Another thing he has to believe is in divinity. And another thing he has to believe it in stars and constellation and planets and astrology. So basically, this is the second kind of person who has fear as the main thing. So let's say today is Thursday or Friday or whatever that is, and then this person goes and does rituals in the temple, or in, let us say he's a Muslim, so today is Friday, so he will go to the mosque and he will do whatever he is supposed to do. He will not eat, he will close his shop at the time of namaz, and he will go. And let's say a Christian, and then he goes to the church on Sunday and attends the mass and meets the priest and all that. So this is what the God-fearing and believing in karma kanda is all about. So the prayer, what we are talking about, majorly affects these two kind of people who have desire prompted to pursue something, and either they want an higher existence by pleasing that part of that type of God, or he is at least wanting to go to heaven, just like what the Muslims feel that or say that by doing all this rosa and this and that, the God will take them to heaven. So your pain here is removed. So during Muharram, they will beat themselves or hit themselves, get blood from the body, because Muhammad was tortured from moving from Mecca to Medina, and then they are causing injury to themselves, because then that karma will go away, something like that. So there are belief systems which happens, and there this prayer works the most. So you're coming into this Jivi and Jagat concept, wherein the God is going to take care. So then I come with the creator world, the world which is created by God, not by the mind, but created by the God. So all the prayers are for that God whom I believe, and he is going to bestow the necessary environment for me to get or gain from there. So any negative thing happening, I cannot challenge the God because that prayer has not worked. So now I have to find out what I did a mistake in that prayer to not get that result. So I might be doing Homa, or I might be doing Havan, and I might be doing so many chanting and this and that. It works majorly towards the pursuit of happiness through materialistic or desire of heaven. So there is always a fruit of action. So if we take any mantra, it ultimately gives the falastuti. It says that after doing this, what is that you expect out of it? So in these two stages, that is in the karma kanda and in the upasaka state, wherein I am started to understand what is the spiritual religious path. And in that case, all mantras work towards that. So you are wanting to possess or gain something. Let's say I want to gain mastery in yoga asana. So I have to utter mantra and all that, and I believe that with doing that I can bend my body. If somebody were to ask me, how come you are able to bend the body, then I'll say, this Patanjali or Dhanvantari or something like that, and he has blessed me with this, and that's the reason I'm able to do that. Actually, the thing what is doing that is consciousness, but then he doesn't know that it is his consciousness which is doing it, and he believes that there is a God seeing that and doing it. So it works. That's how it should be, and that's nice to have. So majority of the population will be on this, either on karma kanda, wherein apart from just trying to find fault in somebody, I am also refining myself, thinking that there should be some higher intuition or higher vision, higher, or can be called as nature or whatever I want to put it as, which is then doing things for me. So let's say somebody is driving fast and then he is caught up in an accident and then nothing has happened to him, but there's some damage to the car, and he had insurance and that took care of everything about that car. So then he then feels that he had gone to so and so temple the previous day and he had prayed the god, and due to that reason God saved him from death, which is true, to take it from that karma kanda viewpoint. So the mantra what he uttered on the previous day has helped him to come out of this danger. And in the next one, the upasaka level, is that he wants to find who is this Ishvara. So from then onwards, he is going higher, if at all he is able to understand. So he, in the second level, he understands, that is the karma kanda person. The moment he understands that there is some higher being, so he is trying to understand that this Jagat is ruled by God and he is just a jivi, and for that things to get from the Jagat, he requires the blessing of the divine. And the divine can be a godman, a priest, or can be a Swamiji, or can be whoever who has come in the form of God. So then I believe that person. So it can be Satya Sai Baba, or it can be something like Sadguru or Nityananda or whatever belief I have, or I can even look at Brahma Kumari or whoever, depending upon my taste and religion and affinity towards that, I can come up with whoever gives me that. So they go with that person to ask for pains to be removed. Let us say somebody has heart disease, so then Vishnu Sahasranama will really do the trick, whether the person believes or not, or it, because of the sound vibration, it cures all the blockages. So then this person says that, okay, ask this person to utter Vishnu Sahasranama for 3 times. And then he starts reciting it from Shuklam Bharadaram to ending to whatever it is. And then he does the echocardiogram and all that test. And then out of the 2 blockages or 3 blocks, 2 blocks are gone, only one is remaining. And that too only 50% block. So the doctors are surprised. And the patient or the person who had done this is very happy that Vishnu Sahasranama has helped him. So then he believes that Vishnu Sahasranama is going to do it. He doesn't believe in, or he doesn't know that 2 things have worked. That is, this plus karma. Changing of karma has changed the body composition, and due to that reason, the blocks are gone. But since he is in the second level, he cannot understand that. So he feels that Vishnu Sahasranama has done the trick. And he goes to the third one, which is Upasaka, wherein he is God fearing. So all mantras work in second and third. And beyond that, it doesn't work. Because beyond that, you will start to investigate. Did I answer?
But why wouldn't it work beyond that level? What's the meaning of that?
Why it wouldn't work is that because you're not aspiring for the fruits of action.
Okay.
See, the first 2 are purely fruit of action. See, let's say when I am driving from Thiruvananthapuram to Bangalore, I will make it a must to visit Guruvayur temple. Because I believe, or let us say Sabrimala, this month all the people will here near my home, they'll start wearing black dress, and then they will not shave, and they will not smoke, they will not drink, they will not do any kind of cohibition, and for 49 days of whatever days they are supposed to be in that, they will be in that, and then they walk from that base to Pampa Sarovar and go there and look at the Jyoti and come back. Okay, and when they come back, all their expectation, most of it is fulfilled, let's say. So then they go it every year. They make it a point to visit every year because it works. Something like Tirupati, something like Rameshwara, or whatever it is. So all these Punya Kshetra or all whatever is called, including Mecca or going to Jerusalem or this or that, is all part of that. Because you have, that person has something expecting that it should work. When you come to Karma Yogi, you are not expecting anything to work. You are just exhausting all the karma.
Okay.
So you don't care. Because now you have understood what is Ishvara. See, at the state where we are in, 4 of us, we should have now understood what Ishvara does and what Parameshvara is all about.
Yes.
But if we are yet to understand Ishvara, that means we are still in the Karma Kanda or in Upasaka. That means we are still a novice in spirituality, but good progress in religious ideals. So I have some of my friends who, if they go to US or to whichever country, they don't eat. They only eat from whatever they have brought from India. So they don't go out. And what they do is they will either eat something dry thing or they buy fruits and eat. If they're staying for months, let's say they only eat that and they don't eat anything in the afternoon also. and they are not supposed to cross 7 oceans. So now they have crossed 7 oceans. So they will do prayashchitta for crossing 7 oceans, and they come back and do prayashchitta. And they do that. So that is the karma kanda.
The question is that prayers, which you have given the example of Sai Baba and all that, we are doing prayers, and that is the requirement for a bhakta doing prayer. And in return, he will get something.
Yes.
That based on his karma phala, right? No prayer give the same result for all.
Yes.
But it works to some extent. That much is more or less clear. It will not work to cut other person's karma or my own karma.
Correct. It works because when prayer is uttered in a real devotion, let's say with ekagrata, what happens, but see, there is this jagat is gone. It removes the jagat. So it is in contact with Ishvara and Jivi. So what should happen? It should work, right?
So prayer is going from me to that Ishvara, and then if my prayer is about some other person favoring me or doing something good for me or good for others, so it also goes to the other person's mind, and this devata will change the way that person looking at me. That will change. He will become much more I can say helping kind of mind. That way. Now see, I have enemy. I am praying something good for me, and through him, that enemy also will start thinking positively towards me, right? That change will happen through the prayer.
Might happen, might not happen. But your way of looking will change. I'll give
my way of looking will change. Yeah, correct. My karma will start changing from that day, because I look at that person differently. Yes.
Yes. So what did you do? You removed the jagat. Correct.
Yeah.
And the difference between a spiritual person and religious person is, spiritual person knows that he has changed the jagat, whereas religious person thinks that the God has made the change to the jagat.
1 minute. Spiritual person thinks he has made the change.
Yeah, what change did he made? He changed the outlook, how he was seeing a person as an enemy, right?
Yeah. Because Jagat is there within me, so I have changed it. So Jagat is changed.
No,
correct.
You have changed the perception, your perception of Jagat.
Yeah.
Correct. See, now let's say you are my enemy, right? Let's take that as an example. So somebody feeds into me that, but he was talking about you like this and like that, and then there is anger which has come on you. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to find out why he is saying that or whatever. Then I start to think, why did Bhatt do like this? So now I am anger. Correct. Now what I do is, before I talk to you, I will go to a Shiva temple because I believe in Shiva. So while praying to Shiva, I get an internal vision that is from Ishvara, saying that don't blame Bhatt. He has not done anything. Now my perception has changed, right? So when I come and meet you, I don't call you my enemy at all. In fact, I will come and say this to you. I'll say, so and so person told about you to me like this, but I know that you are not such a person, and I don't have any animosity towards you. So let us say, even if you had purposefully tried doing that with me, your perception also will change now. Right? And now what did we change? You and I changed. We changed the Jagat. Jivi remaining same, Ishvara remaining the same, the Jagat or the perception, the feeling and perception of what is Jagat, we have changed it. So the karma is changed. So the difference between a spiritual person and a religious person here, the spiritual person knows that the Jagat has changed. Ishvara was there earlier, Ishvara is there now also. Religious person feels that he went to the Shiva temple and that is where he got this intuition or vision or whatever. And due to that reason, God has bestowed upon him. And what he has done is now he has changed the Jagat.
So for changing the Jagat, religious person goes to temple and through prayer he is achieving it.
Yes.
And a spiritual person right now here he is achieving it.
Yes. That's the only difference.
Okay. That's called Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga.
Yes. So Jnana is you know what is Ishvara. Bhakti is you are seeking for that Ishvara.
So spirituality means only Jnana Yoga. There is no Bhakti. Bhakti Yoga is different.
No, Bhakti has already happened. You have understood. You have experience of that. See, the blissful experience you already had. So you don't require any further bhakti to develop. See, basically, how does bliss work? Once you are blissful, you'll stop removing all dirt because you've understood what it is. So let us say in my case, I will stop telling lies. I will stop, talking negative about others. And then I will stop doing any kind of possession because it is of no use. Then I stop indulging in many worldly things which I was doing. So I myself will understand that what is consciousness and what is not. Okay, so I have understood this. So this understanding has come after the bhakti has completely taken shape. Now there is no longer any bhakti required for me, because I have mentally become a sannyasi inside my mind. So now I'm in bliss. These objects are not going to do anything to me because I have found Ishvara. Now, what is this Ishvara? Ishvara is the one which is either directing or undirecting. That we spoke some days ago. So let's say there is a sound and that sound makes me feel that it is my wife, and that feeling that this is my wife is a conditioned consciousness. Whereas consciousness is unconditioned. So there's nothing called as wife. This I have experienced now. So I have become a renunciation because that never existed in the first place. So I've become everywhere, all husbands are myself, all wife itself is myself, all sons are myself, all daughters are myself, everything is myself. And knowing that myself is Parameshwara, that is Brahman. So I've experienced that. So now I am at dhyani. I am at eternal meditation with that higher consciousness. So I don't require bhakti to develop again, because the bhakti has shown me the way of knowledge. So I can start with knowledge, and bhakti also starts transforming. So either the bhakti will lead to knowledge or knowledge will lead to bhakti, and then you get again the knowledge. So end result is only knowledge or jnana. Confused?
No, this is fine. Understood.
Okay, so now the prayer is required for manipulating the five sense objects in the way it should be received by the five senses. If the five sense objects itself are not there, then the five senses also are in their original form. That means they become divine, divya. If they are divine, the jivi itself has become divya because there is consciousness which is Ishvara. So Jagat is gone forever. Just like in the deep sleep state, when the Jagat is not there. So this person experiences the bliss. So there's jivi, there is Ishvara, which is Turiya state. So there you don't require any prayer, right? You are happy in any situation.
Yeah.
Lata, you had one comment yesterday. Maybe we can discuss on that.
Which comment?
You said the changes we all have undergone last 2.5 years. Maybe it will be good to discuss.
Yeah, correct. So I mentioned that all our minds are getting impacted by each other.
Yeah, that's correct. I think that would be a good subject.
Yeah, correct. That should be a good subject. If I take myself from the last 2.5 years, I feel I have come a long way, and there's quite a lot of change. My mind is totally different from what I was before to now.
Okay. If you can elaborate.
So the way I think, the first thing is that I had a lot of this kind of career aspirations, that I wanted to be like this, I wanted to be that, and all that has dropped away. One thing. And second, what do you say, considering Muruga as I was a devotee of Muruga. So now I feel that I have understood what is really Muruga means, or what is Ishvara mean. Okay, so that is one big change. And then initially I had this kind of vague understanding here and there. I wouldn't say a wrong understanding, but then it was not a clear kind of a picture in my mind. So that has become more clearer. So what exactly spirituality means, and what is it that we are trying to reach, and what exactly is liberation meaning, and all that. I was not having that clear picture, even though I had a vague understanding. But that anyway, there's a clarity which has come. And then I became more aware of myself. Or maybe I understood myself better than I had earlier. That is a most biggest change, I would say. So I understood what I am, and I became aware of how I react to situations and so on. And I also started to understand the other people better. So this is something which I have been seeing, and then I also feel that I'm moving forward in the spiritual path, and I am on the right path. Before always I have this kind of doubt whether I'm in the right path, or something I'm doing wrong. Is it the way I am? There's a kind of desperation I had, kind of restlessness that I need to somehow achieve something in the spirituality. So all that has dropped away. I don't have that kind of that burning, the desperate feeling that I should experience something, I should learn something, and so on and so forth. And the best, I think the main thing which has happened was that you put me in touch with that subtle intellect, which I have told you before, and that came when I did that awareness meditation for the 4 days. So that's when the shift happened, the big shift happened. So then after that point is when I have ran out of questions. It's not that I understood everything, but then there is nothing there's no questions which comes. Then now if I have to ask something, I have to manufacture something. Before it used to come naturally, that many questions used to come. So now that doesn't come at all. So that's the change I see which has happened, and I became more calmer and more. I would say more calmer Not right now. I don't have any kind of expectations also in any form. So that's the change which has happened to me.
Yeah, it is quite visible, Lata. Your agitation is almost gone, is what I feel.
Yeah, correct. I'm at peace with myself.
Yeah, you're at peace with yourself. This is what is required, actually.
Yes.
So you have found what you wanted to find.
Yes, I found what I wanted to find. That's why I don't have any questions.
No, that's why you don't have any questions and you don't have any agitation that things are not working. Now you know that if you want, you can continue on that.
Yes.
And you know how to do it also.
Correct.
So now you don't require the teacher.
Yeah, I also believe so. Yes, first time I believe so.
Yeah. So you are on your own, meaning you now have learned how to walk on your own.
Yes.
So that's good, actually. So yesterday when you messaged me, I felt very happy. Okay. Nice. In fact, we all have grown in that way. That's the beauty of it. So we have actually done that Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunatu.
Hmm.
Meaning,
Correct.
as much as you all have seemingly grown, I have exactly done the same thing.
Yeah, maturity is also spiritual maturity is also visible in you from the first discussion to now.
Yeah.
So you have also grown, and maybe some steps ahead of us, and you are also trying to take us along with you. So that's good. So, but then you also have improved or matured a lot from what it was.
Yes.
And I understood there is no end point. It's not that we end. It continues. It keeps on going.
It keeps on growing and it keeps on making you more and more mature within yourself.
Correct.
Because
so there's no end to it. I think I know there is no. Initially, I used to think there's an end point. That yeah, okay. So now you have realized Brahman. That's it. End. But then now I understood no, there's no ending because Brahman itself is infinite. So it keeps on going, going, and going.
Yeah, once you experience bliss, then that's the end. But then the thing is how to interact between the world and no world.
Yeah.
See, yesterday, from morning after our talk and after I was looking at this agile, then I closed my computer. Then in the afternoon, I wanted to put on this computer, whichever one, laptop or this new one. And the very first time, I felt there is nothing to see. So what I did, I again switched off the computer and sat. So no YouTube videos, no reading of anything, because on Agile, I was just reading and in 15-20 minutes, whatever I had indicated is the correct way. So I didn't have to again go back and see whether did I do a mistake or whatever it is. It was correct and I left it. And I didn't have anything else to do, meaning it became so boring actually that there's nothing to do. And yet I'm very happy. And I was doing all of this to get this happiness.
Yes.
And that's beautiful actually. You don't have to do anything, but you are happy.
Correct.
So I think this association has brought me into that because I have to consistently do something about what should I teach in that role. So that made me think in different dimensions, different ideas, examples, come out with experiments and all that, which otherwise I think wouldn't have happened. If I had not met three of you, I don't think so I would have had this opportunity. Maybe I would have known, but that doesn't give anything. It doesn't give this much of result what I've got. So it exactly brings into that Veda view of Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunatu, where the teacher and student both will grow together. That's the best way. That's the best way, rather than teacher remaining as teacher and student forever remains a student. I think that's the wrong way. At least in this, if it is a materialistic life like music and arts and literature or science or whatever it is, or software or whatever, that is different. But in this, the student and the teacher don't have any distinction. The teacher only knows something more than the student. So it is worthwhile that both experience it together to see what works and what doesn't. Yeah, let's ask Bhatt now. What do you think?
I think I was carefully listening the conversation between you and Lata. That is perfectly articulated. Even sometimes I also run out of questions. That was my problem. And you asked me that I have to ask questions. I was thinking that what question I should ask. Because the path is known. Achievement is, we have to do it. If it is unknown, then I agree. But it is known that you have to go in a particular direction. And especially for me, the interesting part was the prapancha and the atma, purusha and prakriti. So that was not clear in my mind. Now it is so clear. Only thing is, now we have to really separate. We have to see prakriti as prakriti, purusha as purusha. The spiritual journey point of view, it is readily there. I have to just keep on every day spending time, which is not even one day job. It's a continuous job. And for your information, evening also I spend about 1 hour or so a daily basis on around this to understand, and also to, while chanting Veda now, I chant from this angle, because what explained there, either Purusha Sutta is also Veda only. I look from spiritual angle than religious angle. The angle is completely changed. So anything anybody talks now, because I attend even Wednesday, there is one person teaches from on Prabhakar Guru. That is, that Vasan, he's good. He's going somewhere. He's talking on Navagraha now, every Wednesday, 9 to 10 night. So when I see that, I see a spirituality, somebody talks to me, not as a religion or religious text. Even now, Vasan is teaching every day I can 7:45 to 8:30. He teaches Aitara Upanishad. There also same Prajnanam Brahma is a theme around that. He is also textual meaning he gives. So I found it is reinforcing every day. Morning your session and evening other session. But other people, I don't know how they teach. Is it from spiritual angle or religious angle? But they teach text. Okay. But your spirituality made me to understand in the spiritual way those things. So, and in the real life, up and downs. When the real up and down comes, I know that, again, from the spiritual angle, I try to analyze. These up and downs is a part of life. And what is inside is really true happiness, and try to explore that. Either happy moments or sad moments, they are temporary. But the bliss is there inside. Try to get those bliss. Whenever you have those, when emotionally you are disturbed, both way. So even happy is also disturbance only for temporary. So try to be there in the neutral. That's what I am learning. I am practicing, and I can see the huge growth within me. Any moment, any opportunity comes, either interacting in the project scenario or any official or personal scenario, I always think of nowadays spirituality. That is how my spiritual journey is progressing.
Very nice.
Very happy and the right direction, I can say.
So now that you are also listening to people who talk about from the text, so do you find any conflicting things between what?
No conflict at all. No conflict. Because when they talk, it's always depending on how I decode it.
Correct.
As for my decoding, you say the thing is I don't know all the meaning of that Veda text. Because these people are experts in understanding and talking about the text. Now, when it goes inside, for me, it goes not like a religion, it goes like a spirituality. Even I will be very happy to listen to even the Bible or Quran or anything in the same way, because that is my mindset, including Dvaita Advaita also. I look from the same angle. So I don't see a conflicting statement anywhere, because that is what they have realized the way what is needed. But it's all step by step. Somewhere may be bhakti based, somewhere may be jnanam based.
True. Very good.
Yeah, as you mentioned, togetherness, that satsanga, it has really enabled all that. Because some two people talk now, you can also think during this time. When you talk, yes, thinking, but other thing is the questions what Shishyas ask you. During that time, we are also in the same level. Just listening. Listening is very interesting.
Yeah, that is correct. And that makes me also think. See, that is the beauty of it. I can't claim that I know it. And that is very good. Because that makes me think, okay, how this will work. So that helps in bringing out some examples or some experimentation what can be done. So yesterday I was telling Lata that because of this, that most of the experiences or visions have happened between the toilet seat and my walking. So it is good in that way.
Yeah.
Nice experience. Okay, 9:20.
How about Padma Shri? She is not there today.
Yeah, Padma Shri is not there, so that's the reason we wanted to just spend on discussion. So when Padma Shri is there tomorrow, we can ask her.
Because she is not sometimes not actually participating. You are pulling her. Is it sometimes I think is it a burden on her?
Yeah, I try to pull her
because she is also doing PhD, na?
Yes.
Finally, time investment.
Correct. She's also putting her time. So I believe either it is helping her or she has all her questions are answered and she thinks that there is nothing else to ask. That is also quite possible. I don't know, because every time she says that I don't have any questions.
Her husband also attends, right? Every time. She was telling earlier.
Yeah. He attends whenever possible, not like what we are doing. Otherwise, I think he is on Sarva Priyananda.
Say again?
No, he is on that Sarva Priyananda.
Oh, okay. Then what he talks, you talk and all, something very similar.
Yes.
Talking point of view.
Yeah, talking point of view.
Yeah.
Okay, then we don't have anything more.
Yeah, sure.
That's good. I think nowadays we are running out of topics.
Yes, otherwise we have to take the theoretical part.
Yeah, but that's also good.
Yeah, that is good.
In what way?
No, there is always good in that. Absolutely true. No. Today we can't take that because she's not there. So if we don't have anything, maybe we can end.
Yeah, correct. So now 12th chapter, 13th chapter we have already finished.
Yes.
11th is over.
12th.
13th
13th started, no?
No, 13th we already ended long time ago. We can again go to 13th. See, there is no harm in going to 13th to see what works and what doesn't work. So it is fine to go to 13th.
But for Bhagavad Gita, for spiritual people, it gives the spiritual kind of message. For this religious people, it gives a religious kind of message.
Yes.
And every time when you read, based on your maturity, it gives different level of messages.
Correct.
There's different layers. I think all our Vedas, everything has different layers based on your understanding. And
Yes,
maturity.
Correct.
See, all of these books are based upon the maturity. It is not based upon a normal view of for everyone. So Bhagavad Gita, like in the case of my mother, if I were to take her, she used to believe that it is like a God book, and she used to keep it in the
Pujaro.
puja room. So it remained there, and she used to read it, but with full of devotion. And there are people who do arti and this and that to that book, just like what the Sikhs do with their Guru Gobind Granth. So they put cloth and then they take it on their head and they keep it back in the golden temple. So a lot of things are done. So Guru Mukhi is that is from the words of Guru, that is documented, and that Granth they utter and they pray to that. Okay, and that's what they do. So
In the last chapter, after 18th chapter, there it is mentioned Falashruti of Bhagavad Gita. I don't know whether you had got a chance to look at that.
no,
It says exactly like what your mother has practiced.
yes,
It is like God's Vani, and if you completely recite, you will get some certain kind of punyam. If you do one chapter, different punyam. If you do one shloka, like that, it will make you to every day revisit Bhagavad Gita. That kind of Falashruti is there.
correct. And the thing why it works that way is because even the Shankaracharya's disciple, one of the disciples said that Bhagavad Gita Kinchita Dhita Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita.
Yeah.
He said from that Brahmin priest who was looking at a woman or many women bathing there and his mouth wide open. So they wanted to tell him that what is reality of life. But how it is taken, like if you hear to M.S. Subbalakshmi's Bhajagovindam, she'll skip many lines and she skipped especially the second line or the second sloka itself because she felt that that is going to not be good taste. I don't know what she thought about it, but she has not recited all 31. She has recited only 18 in totality. So in that comes the Bhagavad Gita.
Your voice is breaking, Vilas.
How is it now?
Oh, fine.
It's fine. Okay, what I was saying is, if you have heard to M.S. Subbalakshmi's Bhajagovindam, she skips the second verse and she has skipped many of them and making it 18 instead of all 31. In that, there is one shloka which says that Bhagavad Gita Kinchita Dhita Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita. So from a ritualistic point of view, if I am a Shankara follower, what I will do is I will recite one verse of Bhagavad Gita or in one in one chapter, so that the punya is gained. But what is meant by that is, instead of going towards samsara, have you understood Bhagavad Gita? It's like a Ganga Jala which will remove from rebirth cycle. That's what the meaning is. But if I take it in a literal sense or in a usual karma kanda sense, then what I will do is I will start reciting one shloka in a day, because that punya is earned. So depends on the different level of the person or the maturity of the person.
Yeah, correct. I think religious point of view, reading one is religiously good. But
Yes.
finally, you will reach a spiritual journey after that. Because once you understood the message,
Yes.
then it is spiritual journey.
Yes, so most of the people don't get into that. They end their life
Yes.
only in religion, whatever their belief is. So with that belief, they again have a rebirth. That is the problem.
Mm,
So it will not liberate.
correct.
It will neither liberate nor it will realize. It will only make you get attached to it. So they come back to the same religion from where they like to do something. So they are back with punya.
Yes.
Okay, so 9:29 now.
Yeah, fine. Thanks, Vilas.
Okay. Thank you.
So catch you on Monday with
Yep.
we'll start on the 12th chapter.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.